Cindra versus Fang. Even though this is a very unexplored matchup, there's a couple of things I noticed that can help get us pointed in the right direction. Fang's early game is all about setting up Felty tokens. This means that he can have a little bit of a slower start to the game trying to get this going. Not always. The Felties are not that hard to set up, but if Fang has a potentially slow start as Cindra, we need to capitalize on the fact that he wants to keep multiple cards to be able to get all of his Felties in play. The one really bad thing for us about playing against Fang is the new Warrior Legendary headpiece. Kabuto is absolutely insane and can shut down our biggest synergy turns that involve Spreading Flames and Wrath of Retribution to really get a lot of value out of our daggers. And Kabuto just ends all of that the second that our opponent blocks with it. So that's something we have to play strategically around and make sure that we're looking out for. From the Cindra point of view, our opponent does not like blocking with a lot of the new 2 blocks that they've been given. Now, Warrior traditionally has a lot of 3 blocks, and there's still a good amount of them in the deck, but there's a lot of 2 blocks in the deck now and a lot of instants to make the Felty work. We can actually put Mask on the Chain Link 2 times a turn, or keep it alive with Flick Knives to be able to threaten multiple cards from their hand. And once you get past the Valiant Dynamo blocks, you can really start threatening Mask a lot and either forcing our opponent to giving us extra cards to Arsenal or extend our turn, or they're just getting put into a spot where they're giving us multiple cards from their hand because a lot of them are 2 blocks. And that's really just going to give us the fuel we need to get ahead and try and close the game before our opponent can get set up and get going. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoyed the match. All right, we're playing against Fang here. We are going first, which is a little awkward. I think I'm just going to play Warmongers here and just pass. I think is going to be the best play for us. I'm going to choose War, and I'm going to Arsenal my That All You Got and try to get some value off of it. Having 3 blues in our hand is incredibly awkward to start the game. It's incredibly awkward to start the game this way. I guess we'll just go ahead and block with one of our stab wounds because it just feels so bad. Get to attack an extra time. And they draw a card. I was like, that doesn't give them go again though. Like they're not going to get their action point back, which is relevant here. Searing Gaze just for value. That makes sense. That makes sense. They did not mark us because that is the first Draconic Chain Link they had, which is pretty relevant. I mean, I guess we'll just block. And then we'll see what they throw at us. If they throw a dagger, I'm going to say no blocks on reactions. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna block with Stab Wound and just throw the Rising Resentment at them. We'll save the That All You Got for another turn. They didn't create a Felty token or Marcus or really do anything like to fuel their game plan. That was really kind of a clunker for them. They did push through some damage, which is good, but we're just gonna go ahead and throw 3 back at them. Just try to start, pushing damage as much as we can. One of the things that I think is going to be scary is like we're going to have to determine how we want to get through the Kabuto. That headpiece is just terrifying. Like headpiece is so bad for us because our big turn is just a bunch of daggers. So I really think that we're going to have to like try and play around that. Well, if they're leading on this, it means that they have like a Pledge Felty. I'm going to say no blocks. We have a pretty good hand. We can try to get value off of That All You Got here and just try to put them on the back foot. All right, so we take 4 and go to 34. They're going to throw the Fire Vein at me. I mean, the Pledge Felty gives them 1. Like, there's nothing we can do about that. I'm going to say no blocks here and see what they do. I mean, yeah, there's no reason to play the That All You Got. We want to get value out of it, so there's just no reason to do that. They're not going to be able to throw the other one at us because they only have 2 Felty, not 3, so this has been an okay start for us. We're down 8 quite early, but I think we still have We have a pretty good hand here. We don't really have any of the tools that utilize flicking our daggers, unfortunately. But we are able to actually physically like attack with a lot of cards here. I'm going to go ahead and use the empowerment. Drawing into it, that all you got is less than ideal. But it does... Oh, ignite. Yeah, duh. Ignite. Didoi. Yeah, this gets blocked by Gallantry Gold, which I think makes a lot of sense. And then we're going to pitch to throw our other Kunai. Our opponent says no blocks. We are not going to use the vest here. There's no reason to. We're going to throw the brand with Cinderclaw for 1. I was like, no, this is an interesting choice on whether you want to block or not. And I'm going to throw the Lava Burst for 5, which is on hit mask. I'll be curious to see how they get blocked this. They choose not to. I'm going to flick one of our daggers. I don't see a reason to activate boots here. I think we're just going to pass. Like, we already have a good arsenal card. The display loyalty works out for us as a good card next turn to create a Felty token, so we can start trying to turn on some of our weaker cards to get more value this way. They kept all of their hand, which is kind of terrifying, but we'll see what happens. Our hand's kind of awkward. Honestly, like, there's not a whole lot going on here. We'd have to pitch a card to make something happen. That all you got could draw us into something really good, which means a Lava Burst would be a great chain ender here. I don't know. This is interesting. The Burning Blade Dance, I think, gives us the most potential value here out of our hand. We can always pitch Display Loyalty into Kunai and then go Burning Blade Dance flick into Blaze Headlong. I guess we could have kept the... I guess I could have kept the Lava Burst because it works with what we're trying to do. I would currently be at 26. So the Proclaim Vengeance works in as like far as getting them their third Felty token. I think I'm just going to take this. I have a pretty good hand off of my 3 cards. The Lava Burst, actually, no, you know what? We're going to do this. If they're not going to play anything, I'm going to do this and try to get value out of it. They may have a reaction, but it's probably still better for them to set up, right? I mean, the blue did make our hand a little bit better here. They did want to arsenal their card, so I don't really know where they're... I don't know, that was interesting. I am going to go Burning Blade Dance, which has a relevant on-hit effect, which we like to see. This will probably buy a card from them. No, interesting. So we're going to go ahead and flick the dagger here. I will not use the vest. And then it's going to be Blaze Headlong for 4. This is on-hit mask. If they block this efficiently, which it looks like they're going to, we'll plan to threaten mask one more time here because we'll activate Cindra for free, dagger into display loyalty. Blocking with Dynamo is really good for us, actually, because it gives us the ability to threaten mask one more time. So they really have to decide how they want this turn to go. So this is 1. The only way to guarantee that you can stop mask is to block right there. And by block mask, I mean guarantee that I can't threaten it again. And then we're not going to use the chest, and then it's going to be the display loyalty. And this is going to require a card, or you're going to give me an arsenal here. And I'm also going to flick one of my daggers at you, which lines up pretty well. My opponent's got a lot of 2 blocks in hand. They gave me the Oath of Loyalty here with the Dynamos, so They're actually going to give me Furnace, and they're going to give me a 2-block. So we have managed to get an 8-point life lead and strip some cards out of their hand. Now, unfortunately, actually, this hand's not bad, right? We can block with Warmonger's Diplomacy and Dragon Power, and we can go Ignite into Cracked Felty token into Dragon Power. Because this, it'll cost 1 less. How does this work? How does this interaction work? I'm going to say no blocks. I think I understand how we have to do this to make this work the way that I want to. Does that let them see my hand? Reveals a card from their hand. Okay. I would actually like to use my other blue to be able to get back my daggers. Getting back my daggers is a pretty big ordeal to me. I think that like having them in play is good. So we're going to go Ignite with it on the chain. We're going to play Felty. So this works out this way, and then because of the cost reduction, this comes in for 5. So I think we have to sequence it that way, because Ignite says when this attacks. So you put it on the chain because you've already played it, and then activate the Felty, which means we're going to be able to get the value that we want right here. And now we can go ahead and pitch our last card to get our daggers back. Unfortunately, we weren't able to block 3 and get our daggers back. That would have been really good, but I think this is an okay line for us. Twist and Turn is obnoxious. I do not like. I think this card's very powerful, but I hate playing against it. All right, so this is the Gallantry Gold turn. This is the combo piece. This is what our opponent's looking to play towards. Trying to think of how this turn lays out for us. The first Kunai just gets blocked by the dragon or by the dynamo. Yeah, I think we're committed to trying to get value out of the that you got for a bigger power turn here and just saying no blocks right here. So they make a 4th Felty token, and we're down to 16. The real problem here is that they still have Kabuto, and that they can just get value out of it pretty much whenever they want to. All right. Well, our opponent's either tanking here, or like they just need to refresh the page. It's probably just refreshing the page, but we'll see what happens. They could have a... Nope. Okay. We were just waiting until we got there. All right. So they get to attack with their dagger an extra turn, which is not ideal, but it's okay. They ended up not using Gallantry Gold. I'm going to say no blocks here. I assume there's something they're wanting to play here. Honestly, we probably should block with the Flight Path this turn. Like, if we block with the Flight Path, yeah, Affirm Loyalty. So we end up taking 4 to 12. Yeah, I think we should have blocked with the Flight Path there. That would have been a good play. I mean, I guess we can block with it next turn. We're not using it this turn. It just would have been better value, I think. They didn't end up throwing the other dagger. I was like, you definitely could for free here, so I don't know why you wouldn't. You have the Felty tokens. It just seems to make sense to me. So we fall down to 12. And then they're going to throw this last one at us. Do we want to try and arsenal that all you got? I think we'll just play it for value here. If my opponent passes on reactions, I will play the That All You Got. They can play the last one if they want to, but I would much rather them give me their card here to deny me the extra card, as opposed to setting up for a 5-card hand. And if they just want to give me a 4-card hand after blocking for value, that works for me. Ancestral Empowerment's looking really good here. You really like to see that. All right, this turn looks to be very, very powerful. We're going to come in with Kunai for 1. Also, a card that's really impressed me with my testing so far has been Dragon Power. This card has been a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I did not have high expectations for that card when we put it in the deck. I just assumed it was a blue, but it has really panned out. No, I can wait and gain a resource here if I need to. We're going to go Burning Blade Dance. Burning Blade Dance is really good, and it also works well with the Ancestral Empowerment here, so we could come over the top pretty easily if we wanted to. I think I'm more interested in using Flick Knives. I don't think we want to do that. I think we're just going to equip our daggers here at the end, and then it's going to be Mounting Anger. Hopefully they get greedy and they block with a card in Flamescale Furnace. That's really what I'm hoping they go for. That would be a big swing for us. I did play to the ability to draw off of Mask this turn, but if our opponent blocks with 2 cards, then we might not get that chance at all. It just kind of depends. All right, our opponent is making the greedy block here, which we'd love to see. You absolutely love to see this. The Ancestral Empowerment needs to rip into like a Lava Burst or something. That would be an awesome hit here. So we are going to come over the top. We draw into another Ancestral Empowerment. I mean, we might as well play it just to see what we draw into. The brand is fine. Mask of Momentum into the 1-for-4. It seems okay, I guess. We'll just go ahead and banish the brand with Cinderclaw here. Come in for 4, and then we'll arsenal the 1-for-4 here. So now our opponent has Kabuto to block with. I mean, they've held on to it for a really long time this game. And one of the scary things is like when they have a hand where they just want to flip the game, they can just hang on. Like they can just block with it just to get extra value. Okay. This hand is absolutely insane. Now the crazy part is like they're still probably going to offer like a 2-card like 6. Like they probably still get like a, well no, actually it's just 1 card in hand, right? Wow, that's wild. So and they just pass. I mean, okay, I don't know why you passed there. You could have attacked with the other one for free just to clear the Dynamo block. Feels like a small mistake there for my opponent. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Kunai here. Now, the odds of us... Yeah, I think my opponent realized, like, they're lagging and they realize what happened here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I understand. Like, it is 100% correct for them to make this play. It is 100% for them to make this play, correct to make this play, just because if nothing else, it clears the Dynamo. So that is a really good place to start. I really hope our opponent blocks with Kabuto here, just thinking that they want to deny me the value. And then we're going to go 1-for-4 from Arsenal. We're going to create a Fealty token, which is not like super relevant here, but you know. And then, I mean, I guess we're just going to see how aggressive we need to get. We're going to go Blood Runs Deep. We're going to flick the dagger at him. I am going to use the resource here. We're going to use our vest to make sure we get value here. Now, honestly, that's fine. We get to throw a 1-for-4 here. This makes a second fealty token. Not that the fealty's like looking super relevant right now, but I actually really like this because if they go down to 2, they're in a really bad spot against us, which is awesome. And now this is going to come in for 3, which forces one more card from their hand. And then I can actually equip Cindra here and flick one of these, just to put my opponent down to 2, which I think is good. We're not going to use the vest here. We did use the vest up front because it gave us the ability to throw our other kunais if we wanted to. What kills us here? So if I go Rising Resentment, Display Loyalty, Wrath of Retribution, Blood Runs Deep, buy them back, that like almost assuredly wins the game. I think we have the value we want just off of like Blood Runs Deep and Flick Knives. I was like, yeah, that costs 1 to play. So they're going to put me to 6. And then we're going to say no blocks here. And then this is fine. Our hand, this is lined up really well for us. Actually, us drawing the Wrath of Retribution late has been really, really good for us this game, because it coming this late means that we're just getting the value of them not having Kabuto in play. Oh, wait, no, that's awkward. Actually, you know what? I think it's okay. I miscounted a little bit here, which is good to note, but it's still okay. Yeah, they had an instant in their hand, so they knew that the game was over right there. But we had Wrath into Flick. Like the Flick Knives was going to end the game, but we had a lot more damage coming their way to close it out anyway. On my opponent's turn 3, you'll notice that I blocked very quickly with the Lava Burst against my opponent's Oath of Loyalty. I think this was wrong for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't stop long enough to analyze the hand to see if I could get enough value out of it. Even if I don't draw into the blue off of that all you got, I can still get the value out of Lava Burst to get 2 more offensive points out of it instead of defensive points. I think this was just a quick mistake. I didn't stop and process enough, and this happens with the new heroes, but it's still good to point it out so that we all know it's there moving forward. Now, luckily, that all you got did draw me into the blue, so it would have made my Lava Burst even better if I had kept it, which means that blocking with it was just wrong all the way around. Turn 4 was a really cool interaction. That was the first time I'd been able to do that. Throwing the Ignite and then cracking the Fealty token while it was on the chain to mean that our Dragon Power was going to cost 1 less allowed us to throw a 2-card 7 because of the Fealty token, which was really cool. And then our blue just let us buy the daggers back. We could have arsenaled the Dragon Power, but I don't think it was correct. It's not consistent enough. There's only 6 Fealty generators in my Cindra list, so I think getting our daggers back was correct, but it was a really neat interaction, and giving us the 2-card 7 was pretty awesome. On turn 7, I had a really good hand where I wanted to utilize Salt the Wound. I was going to use my Blood Splattered Vest to be able to get the extra resources to throw my daggers again, and then my opponent gave me the Kabuto to actually shut that down. Now, it worked out for them because it made my Salt the Wound only for 3, but at this point in the game, they were low enough to where the Salt the Wound was taking a card either way. It was a good use of the Kabuto block by them, but at that point, I feel like I was kind of so far ahead, it didn't really matter. Also, drawing into the Wrath of Retribution on the following turn was going to be absolutely insane. We did have an all-red hand where I was forced to play Wrath of Retribution as the last chain link, but that's okay. It worked out in the end, and we had enough value to be able to get there. In this game, there were a couple of cards that stood out to me as being much better than I had anticipated them being. That All You Got is at the top of the list. I didn't really think That All You Got was going to be that good because of how many reactions they play. But after playing this game, I kind of see that it just takes some patience with that card, and That All You Got has a really high potential ceiling into Fang to be able to block a little bit of damage and draw us extra cards for offense, going a long way. The other one is Ancestral Empowerment. Ancestral Empowerment was great at pushing over Mask on the Mounting Anger chain link. We also could have used it earlier on the Burning Blade Dance to be able to get rid of our other dagger there, but I think we played that the best way we could. But Ancestral Empowerment felt really good this game. It got us a lot of value and it kept us going to extend our turn. Guys, if you see anything you think I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.